Gemini, your angel number guiding today's reading is 143, preparation. Life is filled with phases. The whisper is telling you to prepare for the unexpected and allow change to pass through with a sense of peace. Financial and creative changes are upon you. Your affirmation, my dreams and desires are coming to fruition, bringing change that I welcome with an open heart and mind. 143, preparation. And Gemini, your rune is Ansus. Seems very appropriate for Gemini because Ansus means that the universe is trying to send you a message. It's communication. It is a need for honest dialogue and the arrival of sudden clarity. This means that this is a good time for you to speak your truth, or in writing or in creative projects. Ansus. Welcome, Gemini Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Cross Watchers. I'm Simone with Cards and Crystals, and I'm using the Cosmic Garden Tarot. Let's see what the universe has to say to Gemini. And let's go ahead and take this one. Your significator is the Six of Cups, and your challenge is the Knight of Wands. Gemini, as per usual, I highly recommend that you take notes when you get readings, because you want to go back to them and read them, because sometimes the messages don't come out for a while, and you want to be able to go back and look, see what the reading was. So I also recommend to go back to your Gemini playlist here in Cards and Crystals, because some of the older readings might have messages that are just now coming out. And this reading, you might have messages come out a couple weeks from now, sometimes even months, Gemini. I always say that 3D time is different from energetic and universal time, celestial time, cosmic time. So let's see what we've got for Gemini right now. So let's go back to your rune here for a second. We've got Ansus. That's the rune of communication and messages, wisdom, truths being spoken. That is a powerful rune for you, Gemini, because Gemini is ruled by communication itself. And we also have 143, preparation, which just feels like confirmation that you are positioned for something new. This might not make sense yet, like I said, but the pieces are moving into place for you. So your overall energy here, this is feeling like you're in a recovery kind of mode. Looks like you have been through some things that have forced you to rethink where you're headed. But you are coming out of survival mode, and you're stepping back into your confidence, getting your voice, and headed toward your future. So let's look at your current situation with the Six of Cups, the Knight of Wands, High Priestess reversed, and the Page of Swords. So I giggle when I see the Six of Cups, because that's just such sweet energy. This is nostalgia. This is thinking back to sweeter times and just full of love and warm and fuzzy, and it just makes me giggle because it just feels good. To be in that place. And this is your current energy right now. So you might be reconnecting with somebody from your past, thinking about old times, thinking about how you used to be, how you used to show up for yourself, and thinking fondly on these previous times. And we are in Mercury retrograde shadow. I'm reading this on June 23rd. It's not going to post until later, but this is appropriate for this card to show up as your significator. This card is asking you to look at what is still emotionally significant to you. So your challenge card is the Knight of Wands. That's a Sagittarius energy. So we've got air and fire. That's impatience with this card. Part of you wants to move quickly, take action, get going. It's almost like you've got one foot looking backward and then another one running toward the future. So we've got a little bit of opposite energy happening here. And then we've got the High Priestess in the reverse. She's often associated with the moon, so that's a Cancer energy, which we are in Cancer right now. And something hasn't been fully cleared up. You might be second guessing your intuition. Maybe you've known about something deep down, but you haven't wanted to acknowledge it. And then we have the Page of Swords that completes your current situation. Page of Swords brings in air energy. That's curiosity, questions, research, watching and learning before you make your next move. What are you researching, Gemini? You are looking into something. You might be looking up people online. Are you looking at people's social media, getting information? Whatever you're doing, you're looking into stuff. But you are standing between the past and the future. You know that it's time to get going, to move forward, to look ahead. But there is something that you're trying to understand before you commit to moving forward. In this Page of Swords, that tells me that you're gathering information, partly because you don't want to repeat mistakes and partly because you're nosy. I call it like it is, Gemini. I call it like it is. Okay. Let's see. Your goals. 10 of Swords reversed. Temperance reversed. 9 of Swords reversed. Look at this. All three of these goal cards are reversed, and all three are pointing toward a healing. So the 10 of Swords reversed, that is your energy. Your goal is recovering, getting back on your feet. Something has been exhausting for you or disappointing or overwhelming, and you're trying to get beyond it. And Temperance reversed, that's fire again, Sagittarius. You are trying to find your balance. You're not quite there yet. You might be feeling like you're one extreme or the other. And this is very Gemini. This is twins. This is dark twin, light twin, or opposites, yin and yang, whatever, any opposite description. That's what this is feeling like. This is I'm feeling both sides of this Gemini energy in this reading, very much, very profoundly. But you have been feeling overworked, overstressed, feeling like you've been waiting too long for something. You haven't been getting enough rest. And then the 9 of Swords reversed. That's more Gemini energy. This is huge because you are trying to release your anxiety. You're trying to get beyond your fears and overthinking and worst case scenarios. You want peace. That's what these cards keep telling me. You want peace. You don't want chaos. You don't want drama. You want your nervous system to calm down, and you want to trust yourself, and you just want to be easy. You know, we just came out of your season and you're feeling kind of, you're feeling hopeful. You're feeling like you want to prepare for what's next. So your influences, this is the unseen, the subconscious. These are influences that are working behind the scenes, what you can't see. Okay. Judgment, 7 of Wands reversed, Ace of Cups. This is the turning point because the Judgment, that's your wake-up call. That's a realization. That's an awakening. That's something that you cannot ignore, that just makes everything clear. It's like the light bulb coming on. And then we've got the 7 of Wands reversed. You've been fighting this battle for a long time, Gemini, but this one is when you start asking, do I have to fight every single one? And of course, the answer is no, you don't. Let some things go, Gemini. Not every battle is worth your time, effort, attention, even noticing it. Some of you are finally ready to put your sword down and just say, okay, put my hands up. Go ahead, y'all go. y'all take care of that battle. I'm not doing it. I don't want any parts of it. Some of you, you're like, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Gemini, that's your mantra for this reading. I'm not going to dignify that with a response and keep it moving. Because once that happens, you have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is pretty beautiful. This Ace of Cups is pure emotional renewal. That's could be new love for some of you. It could be healing for others, but it's a fresh emotional beginning, overflowing emotional clarity. So the influence surrounding you right now, it's helping you release resistance so that something healthier can enter your life. Look how pretty that card is. And Gemini, this could be connected to your Ansus rune. Truth getting spoken, understanding coming in, communication clearing the air. Once that happens, your emotional space opens up. So there is room for this healing and this new beginning to happen for you. Let's take a look at your past. We've got the Tower, we've got the Nine of Cups, we have the Page of Wands reversed. This tells us why this reading feels so significant. The Tower, that's sudden upheaval. It's like the rug being pulled from underneath you. Something dramatic happened and changed everything. For some of you, it was unexpected. For others, you knew it was coming. It had been building, and it was a long time coming before this all came crashing down. Then came the Nine of Cups. Very interesting, because after all of this chaos and disruption, there was a time where you got something you wanted, or you got some kind of satisfaction. There was a moment of feeling at peace, feeling okay, feeling good. And then Page of Wands reversed, fire energy again. That is stalled momentum. So it came crashing down, you had some peace, and then things slowed down again. It's almost like the Tower forced the change, granted you a wish, but then there was some uncertainty. Maybe your next chapter wasn't obvious. Maybe you lost motivation. Maybe your confidence took a hit. But that Page of Wands in the reverse, that tells me that you want a new adventure, but you just haven't figured out where to direct that energy. What am I going to do next, is what you're asking back here. And that would also explain why the Page of Swords shows up in your current energy, because you're still gathering information before you decide what comes next. That's where you are right now. What next? And then, Gemini, your outcome. Two of Cups, Three of Wands, and King of Wands. So this is a strong progression. So Two of Cups, that's Cancer energy. That's partnership. That's alignment. That's mutual respect. That's a meaningful connection. And for some of you, this is feeling very romantic for some of you, actually. For others, it's a relationship of some type, whether it's love, romantic love, friendships, business partnerships, some kind of collaboration, creative collaboration, possibly mentor-mentee, but somebody who shows up for you, meets you halfway, pulls their weight, you see eye to eye. It's a good, solid relationship. And then comes Three of Wands, fire energy again, Aries. That is expansion and progress and looking toward the horizon. It feels inspired. You thinking about where am I going? It feels like this person is going to help you figure that out. This is not the energy of you feeling stuck in where am I going anymore. You can see where you're headed. And then fire again. Lots of fire in your reading today, Gemini. King of Wands, Leo, leadership, confidence, vision, courage. You're leading the charge. You become certain of where you're going, because the King of Wands knows where he's going, and he does not ask permission to get there. So that's a huge evolution. So you get out of this nostalgia energy, this confusion, this anxiety up here, not knowing where you're going. You have your recovery, you have your clarity, you have your forward movement. The Tower shook your foundation. The Judgment, that tells me that you now understand why things had to change. And then with this Ansus, something about communication, that communication is the catalyst. In the 143 preparation, that's your theme. The whole time you're preparing for what comes next. You're gathering your information, you're trusting what you're learning, and you're getting ready, because the uncertainty does not move with you into your future. Your future is connection, expansion, and stepping into your power, Gemini. That's where you're headed. That is where you are headed, my friend. Let's pull some tea leaf cards and some fin de siècle kippers. I'll pull 3 red tea leaf and any purple or greens that pop up in addition. There we go. All right, here we go. And we'll get 3 kippers. And I've been using these fin de siècle kippers lately. I have other kipper decks, but this is my favorite. So we'll stick with this one for now. Okay. We've got poverty. We've got great fortune. Look at that. And then we've got high honor. And then with our tea leaf, we have diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. And camel, persevere and you will overcome a problem. Gemini, if this is resonating with you so far, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss your next reading. And don't forget, we are on Patreon as well. You can get more spiritual guidance there, and we have both free and paid memberships on Patreon. So let's see what we have. We've got poverty, great fortune, high honor. Don't get hung up on the word poverty. Don't panic. This is not necessarily about literal financial lack. It does represent lack, feeling scarcity or loss or disappointment, feeling left out, feeling overlooked, unsupported, or just moving through life with limited resources. But what is fascinating is that this card also mirrors the progression of your reading. You had the Tower in the past, and then you had all those cards about recovery. The Ten of Swords reversed. The Nine of Swords reversed. The Page of Wands reversed. So all that's poverty energy. Not necessarily broke, but feeling like something was missing, feeling depleted. And then comes your great fortune. Now, just like poverty doesn't mean broke, great fortune doesn't necessarily mean winning the lottery. So great fortune is abundance coming after a difficult period, opportunities, favorable outcomes, things that you're pursuing that end the way that you want, or it can be having the right connections, doors opening for you, feeling like things are finally flowing, that energy is moving. And this fits right along with this Ace of Cups that's operating in your subconscious. And the Two of Cups, this connection, and the Three of Wands. All of that is this great fortune that's coming your way. And then, to top it off, not only is it great fortune, but it's high honor. So that's recognition, that's public recognition, that's respect, that's being taken seriously. You have earned your place, Gemini. You're getting acknowledged for what you have been through and what you've accomplished. So when I look at the outcome of this King of Wands, that high honor, that's confirmation. That is confirmation. You are going from uncertainty to leadership to confidence and visibility. That is pretty wonderful, Gemini. So the diamond, this is a strong card in the tea leaf. You will be receiving or giving a precious gift. And that's, a gift is something rare. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something of the material world, an actual physical thing, but it's something that's worth pursuing. And, diamonds are made under pressure. That's Tower energy. From this catastrophic situation arises something beautiful that shaped you and produces something valuable. So that's what that gift can look like. And then we have the cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. This is the caution in your reading. Because, it's exactly what it sounds like. Dissatisfaction with life. So that could be your relationships with others, disappointments, wounds that haven't healed. This is connecting with this High Priestess in the reverse and your Six of Cups, thinking in the past. So this doesn't feel like this is future energy. This feels like lingering. This feels like now energy. This is this lingering hurt that's connected to this past. This is emotional residue, Gemini. This is a disappointment that's influencing how you see the present. Okay? You're not taking that into your future. This isn't saying you have to stay here. Okay? You don't have to stay in this place, but you can't ignore this crack. Okay? You got to fix it. You got to heal from it. And then all these cards appear in your goals position that suggests that you're working on it. Yay, Gemini. Okay, and then we've got the camel. And I love this card in this reading. Persevere and you will overcome your problems. That kind of goes with your preparation. Camel is all about endurance. He carries that water in that hump for a long time, and he can survive in that desert for a long time. So you've been carrying a heavy load, and you have survived this difficult terrain, just like this camel, and you've kept going when things weren't easy. What you have built and what you've come through, it wasn't handed to you. You've earned it. And that's why this high honor feels significant as well. So, this is a transformation, Gemini. What looked like a setback was actually preparation for what's coming. You're 143. So you might not have understood. When does one ever understand when their life is falling apart, right? You might not have understood it, but all of what happened was positioning you for something bigger, something more aligned, and something that brings you this abundance and this recognition, this high honor that's coming. So let's take a look at your crystals. Larimar. Seafoam toned Larimar is a volcanic blue mineral only found in the Dominican Republic. Its energy is like a spiritual snow cone for the seething and sweltering. Who needs it? The hot-tempered. Where to put it? When super agitated, stop, drop, hold Larimar in your left hand and commence cooling breathing. When to use it? When you feel like all of the world's problems are suddenly just your problem, which is how you felt back here. When anger stands between you and the formation of articulate sentences. I need Larimar right now because I can't speak. Remember, chill is a choice. Ride the cool breeze with Larimar and slow your roll. And then we've got some bloodstone. That's a bloodstone. Bloodstone is an earthy green chalcedony splattered with seriously activating red jasper. In the Middle Ages, some believed that the red splotches on the stone surface were the blood of Christ. Who needs it? The constantly overworked and completely drained by the soul-sucking machinations of modern life. Where to put it? Wherever you do the important work, spiritual, physical, and psychological. When to use it? When you're totally bled dry and it's time to get into your body and start feeling your damn self. Sleep, get some exercise, take nourishment, and call on Bloodstone to drag your ass out of the house, to face the day, chin up, and head high. Power up your vitals with Bloodstone. I am also going to pull a couple more oracles for you, just because I'm feeling like you need a couple messages, because you've been through these trials and you're kind of in between. Couple messages for Gemini. Call your spirit home. That's telling me to reach out to this person. You're already calling your spirit home because you're in your Six of Cups, nostalgic energy. Call that place where you feel alive and at home. That might be a visit somewhere. That might be where the messages come from. We already said this Two of Cups could be a catalyst. Nothing will come of this situation. And to me, that means nothing from this tower falling is moving on with you. It's not moving on with you, Gemini. You're leaving that in the past. I'll take one more. Protect your relationships well and cherish them. That's this Two of Cups that you need to be protecting. And these people that are in your spirit home. Protect them, cherish them. Great advice. And who is an influential person that you need to be paying attention to right now? Name begins with I or R. First name, last name, one person or two people. Gemini, that's what I have for you. If you'd like to take a deep dive into your exact personal situation, you can book a private reading with me at cardsandcrystals.org. Drop a comment. Let me know that you were here, Gemini. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.